So let's I want to in today's lesson I'll be showing you how to push to GitHub, how to push a new project to GitHub, then how to save your commit, how to stage all your files, and how to do your daily workflow, that's re-pushing even after your first push, then how to do repo routing. Probably you made a mistake of pushing to the wrong GitHub, or you want to push to a new GitHub, a new repo rather. Then yeah, in this video I'll be showing you how to change to that. So I also teach you time travel, that's how to undo a commit you've done, then how to change branching too. Yeah, then I'll show you how to deploy to either Vercel or Netlify. So now we'll start with the basics. So I'll explain some terminologies and I'll show you how it works. So there's something we call Git init. So this one means Git initialize. So it's like buying a warehouse. That is, you own your own warehouse. So and then we have another one that is actually like Git hard. This one is like when you start loading the warehouse, like you bought a very big container. You know, when you first thing we do is on our GitHub we create a new profile. We create what's the name? We create a new repo, rather not profile. We create a new repo. So we create a new repo by saying we go to GitHub first. So when we go to GitHub, we sign in, trying sign in. So now here we your own might show here, depends on the way your GitHub is being sectioned. So here we'll click on repo. So on the repo, then we'll now do new. So that means you create a new repo. So let's give it the name of my project is AO Farm. Aerial Farms. So description is modern smart agriculture. So description is probably is just like what your project is actually about. So I think you should know how to create a new, because I already have my project on ground already. I created my project. So I have my index page, just a landing page website, just a single page. You can have multiple pages. So I start by, okay, let me just start from here directly. So let's continue this. Let's make it public and readme. You don't need a readme file. Depends on what or kind of project you are doing before you actually say you want to need a readme file or not. So we create a repo. So while that is creating, let's minimize this. Now, this is the project that I want to push. This is what I want to push here. So I right click on this and open with GitHub. I right click on it. I right click and open with code. That's VS Code. So upon doing that, it means only whatever it is I do inside this is only going to stay inside that folder. That's what it means. So if I select a folder like this too and open with GitHub, whatever it is I do on that VS Code will actually be only inside that folder. So which means if you are pushing now, we only push, and there's a way to know how this works. Now look at this, user slash PC slash desktop slash how to push. So now this here is telling us that okay, this folder we are in that this folder we are in is the how to push folder. Whatever last year here says it's how to push folder. So let's say I want to go back to the desktop now, watch something. So cd dot dot will take me back outside that folder. But I don't need to go out. I'm just showing you how it works. So which means whatever it is I do on this terminal here is affecting the desktop folder. This is the last folder that is there. So I think we should go back. So cd back into how to push. Okay, I think we should just close this terminal and open a new one. Yeah, so we are back to how to push. So the reason why that one did not work is because there is space in between here. So space in between these two used to create problem. That's why in most of every project I recommend, you don't put spaces. You don't put spaces because of situations like that. So now upon creating this, so we have this. If you see this in your after you create a new repo, it means there is nothing inside your repo yet. Your repo is still very much empty. So now let's start with the basics. So I explained Git init, but I will explain again. It means you own the warehouse. That is, this here, this aerial farm is my warehouse. It's my space. Then the Git add is that okay, when I start adding components inside, like these files, like this HTMLs and the CSS. That is the add. That's when I had them. So since we don't have a README file, so we don't need to put this README here, there. So now the git commit, it means I'm naming every section of it's just like when I name how would I put it now? When I name every section of the new okay now let's say for example now I put in rice bag today and on in the warehouse now for example I put in some bag of rice, put in some bag of beans today, then I name it today we inputted bag of beans. Then tomorrow I put another one. Then I created another commit again. Okay, tomorrow this is a new bag from so so so. So that's what that git commit is. It means I'm declaring the name like snapshot. Yeah, let me put it that way. I think it best explains. Like a description, I save the snapshot with a descriptive message. That's the meaning of commit. Then the branch. So the branch, so the branch is a modern standard. Yeah, let me put it that way. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to explain that, but the branch is just like the section. Let's say, hey, let me just put it that way. A section. I can have main section. I can have a master section. I can have any type of section. So at this each category, just like when you go to a supermarket and they have the baby section, the adult section, the cosmetic sections, the engineering sections and all like that. So that's it. Then the remote add origin is the repo link. So just like just like the warehouse address. Yeah, just like the warehouse address. Yeah, it's just like the warehouse address. So why the push is when I'm loading is everything, upon doing all these things, upon giving it a name, upon giving it a name, upon selecting the section I want it to go to and everything. Then the push is now when I now do what? When I move it into the warehouse. So that's just how it works. I think that's the only explanation I can give it. So the first thing now is okay, we first do what? We let it, we create what's the name now? We create the warehouse. So that's Git in it. You just over on it, then you copy it, and then you what? You paste it here. So it means we have initialized an empty Git repo. So now the next thing here is we add. So instead of copying the readme, just copy the first two. that JIT and the add. Now, then we go there, then we do what? We put a space, then we put a full stop, then enter. So which means we've what? We've add, we've put in the boxes. So the next one now is the commit. So let's just leave the name as first commit. So you copy the of that too, then you paste it. So it will tell you things it has done. Then the next thing we'll do again is we create the JIT branch main. So in that case, instead of copying one after the other, you can just hover on it and copy the three. Then Control C, copy, and you Control V, and you Control V and paste it. Enter. So I will let your network do the rest. You have to be connected to the internet to do this. It's just like when you're pushing from a local host to your to online. So you have so this is a testament that it has worked actually. So once you see this and there is no error, it means it has worked. So we have a total of four: delta zero reused, delta zero pack reuse. All those ones you don't really actually need to really understand what it means. You can actually can look it up and understand the explanation of what it means. So I think now, how do you know if it has worked or not? That we know from this place here. If there is no error, like a red error, red not results, then it has worked. And also to know if it has gotten here, you just refresh your page, and automatically everything you've created will show here. So this is it. Now that is how to do it. Now situations whereby okay, your project is continuous, you make changes to, let's say we make changes to something. Let's just make changes to what can we make changes to? So let me make a change to this. Increase the yield per square meter compared to conventional method. Now, even writing just to, let's say I write just, let's say I just write this just one line code. This line of code automatically differentiates this from what I pushed. Which means if you go to the job now, you can never find this there because I have not pushed it. So that is where repushing comes in. So this is a new push. This is a new section that I need to push. Muscle memory. Sorry. So this new line now, I will have to repush it again. So but this time now there are certain things we don't need to add anymore. Now this JIT remote, we don't need it to add it anymore. This JIT branch, we don't need to add it anymore. Then this JIT init, we don't need to add it. So the next thing you just do is just JIT add, because the reason why I'm not adding anymore now is because now I said something about the init, like we are creating the new warehouse. We don't need to create a new warehouse anymore because we have the warehouse already. So that is out. Then the remote add, which is the location of the what's the name? The location of the repo now, which I said the address. We don't need to add the address again since we've sent the truck driver there already. He already know the address. We don't need to put it again. Then the branch, the truck driver already know the each sections to put in it. So it doesn't need to like re-know the sections. Except if you want to change the section he wants to push this particular one to. So if you change the GT branch to maybe master or anything, then you can now reassign, okay, GT branch master. Then it's pushed to what? To master. Then now, if you are changing to master now, this one here to actually what? Change to master. If you are going to rewrite it. So let's do it. Let's do git add. Then now git commit still remains because we actually need to describe that okay, we just moved in a new goods. So new changes made. So now we do what? We enter that again. So for every that git add I entered, then git commit I entered, I press the enter key. So now it tells us there's a new file, a file changed. That is a file change. We made a change inside a single file, then two insertions and one deletion. So that's just describing the things we added. Then we'll do git push origin main, enter. Then this will what? That is how to repush. So consecutively, for every changes you make in your local host, you need to keep on doing that. So which means you remember now we're only doing three things: git add, the commit, and the git push. That's if you are pushing to the main. You're going to master, then you change the branch to master. But majorly, you except if you are working with organizations that have different sections, then you can need to have your different branches. Aha. Or probably there are some sections of work you don't want to like push out directly and put under the main things. So you can now do that to actually like put them on different branches. So I think we've gotten that now. And now the next aspect is I've explained number one, I said we push the first push. Then the second one, the daily workflow, that's the repushing I just showed you. Then the third one is now we call it emergency fixes or repo routing. So now, for example, I did not, I, how will I put it now? I pushed to this, but I do not want to push to this again. I want to push to a new file, a new repo. So I can go create a new repo, do then do probably area. It won't allow me to give it the same name. Yeah, it won't allow me to give it the same name. So I have to put new to identify this. So I can now call it again, but I can put the same description. So I created a new repo now. Now I want to push the same file that is here, this file here, but to a different repo. This is what we want to do here. So there are situations whereby okay, maybe I want to push this same thing, everything here, to another repo that I just created. So instead of now, this is there's one thing about this local file now. It has been I said something about the address. I don't need to put the address again. So which means whatever things I push here has been mastered to a particular address, which is this address here. So now it is this, and now I want to change this address to the new one here, to this new one. So that's what we want to do here. So first thing we'll do is just we'll do git remote then v. You see, then your I don't know the name. This forward you know that I don't know the name of this, but let's just say I don't know the name, but you know this type of it's different from this. Is this so they'll put V. So this one means where it is pointing to. So once you enter that, it will tell you where this is fetching and pushing from. Then now we want to set the new place. So we know this is where it is before. So we want to set it to a new place. We'll now do git remote set URL origin. They will now go to your this place. They'll just copy this. This is actually the same thing with this one. So don't get this confused. So we can pick any one of that. Then we enter. Then now let's check it again. So remote git remote v. Now do you know now we have the name changed. It's different from the former one that we have here. So which means whatever it is you are pushing here now is going to this new one. So now let's push. Now we check. Now you see. So that is it. Now let's deploy this now. Deploying. Sorry. We can deploy to that Netlify. So simultaneously, I will do the deployment, then we'll deploy to Vercel too. So Netlify. So we do add new. So if you have not connected your, because I've connected mine, so if it asks you to, when you create your account in your Vercel, it asks you to create with, so I recommend you just create with GitHub directly. So you create with GitHub, it will automatically show all your project that is under GitHub, and it's very easy for you to like push to GitHub. Same thing as Vercel too. So you see, so continue with GitHub. So to show things. So let's select this one. So you log in with GitHub. So we import for the Vercel. I'm trying to show it simultaneously so I can be fast about the video. I don't want the video to be too long. So we have over 20 something minutes going already. So we authorize Netlify. So yeah, we've deployed. So now let's go to the dashboard for the Vercel. So we've not actually logged into our Netlify. So now let's check it. Still loading. So this is the name they give us. So you just click on the control and you put a button a finger on the keyboard control, then you click on this with your trackpad or your mouse. Click on this, then automatically it takes you to that link. So you see our work is now live for the Vercel. Then for Netlify too, it will give me all my projects if I'm connected. So add new project this time. So it tell it to import from GitHub, then to give us some authorization to do. So authorize. Yeah. So to show some projects. So I'm selecting well, it's going to be down, but let's just look for agro. Sorry, aero, aero, aero farm, the one we just created. So just click on this. So it automatically updates. So aero farms. So it is that name that the way it's different from Netlify now is that Netlify automatically allows you to adjust the way you want your farm, your project name to be, and helps you to make sure that is what it will be on the URL. But this one, if you want to change it, then you can now go to domain to actually do the changing. This one allows you to like or to control it from the beginning. Then we'll just scroll down. We don't really actually need to know all this yet, except if you want to go deeper into the web space. So deploy now. So it will tell us project in process. So you can follow the process. You can follow the deploy log here. So almost completed now. Clean up post processing and completed. So our site is actually live. So opening production deploy. So this is it's aerial farms that Netlify. Do you get it now? So that is how to deploy and that is how to push and repush and change repo on GitHub. So and that'll be all for today's class. See you next time.